So let's talk about this moose hunt, fellas. We've been kind of hinting on it for a while throughout the podcast because you guys have obviously had this plan for a little bit.
It's been a long time in the making, man. We've been Ross, how long we've been planning this trip? 2 years? 3 years?
I was going to say 3.
Yep. Dude, I had 3 pages of outfitters that I went through. I called people. I did my research, and I kept coming back to the same 2 or 3 guys. And in the end, we'd already had local boots on the ground. They had a great experience. So we're like, why wouldn't we book with these people? And that's how we made our decision.
Right. Okay. So go ahead.
No, we get all of our gear shipped up ahead of time, so it's sitting there waiting on us. We fly up. It was around the 10th of September. We fly up, and we're exhausted, all right? So the anticipation of this trip has just got us all wore down to the nub before we even start. I mean, we hadn't slept in, 2 or 3 days?
Well, just amped up for the trip.
The trip. Yeah. Nervous. I mean, I was nervous about being nervous.
I hear you. Yeah,
so if that makes sense, like I was worried about getting myself sick because I was so nervous about going on this trip. Like this is years in the making. This is one of my dream trips.
It's game time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. It's like the game day nerves or like, it's pressure to perform, I guess, in a way. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Just nervous to go on this trip of a lifetime. We all knew how big it was for us. So the day comes, we fly up there. We're exhausted after a 7-hour flight.
Yep.
It takes almost 7 hours to get up from Chicago to Bethel. We land in Bethel, and once you land, you're like, man, it's going to be nice to just kick back and relax.
Nope.
Well, that's not the case. So as soon as you land, it's like all hell's breaking loose again. It's like, all right, get your gear ready, get everything weighed. You have to have 100 pounds per guy ready tonight because in the morning, first thing, we're waking up, we're eating breakfast, we're flying you into the bush, weather permitting.
Getting her, Cody?
Oh, yeah.
We're just now getting started. We'll be several hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to take a little while to organize and get our weight trimmed down. We're heavy, so.
This needs to go in and I need to charge it.
Yeah, we can take that in. So, we're going to be after it for a little while. But we'll get her.
Ooh, she's loud this morning. Wouldn't you know it, it's the day we fly out on the float plane.
A little saucy.
Yeah, it's a little rowdy this morning. About a 25-mile-an-hour wind and a little bit of rain. But they flew in 28-mile-an-hour wind yesterday, so hang on and ride her as long as you can.
We're gonna get her done.
All right, we'll see you in the bush. It's cool if you shoot one big enough, like you can't fathom how big around the bases are on these animals, but if you shoot one big enough, they give you an extender. So you have to lock like the extender in and put it around the freaking base of these things, dude.
No shit.
And a few of those in the pile, when we flew in, had those on them.
Yeah.
They had the extenders on them. They were massive, huge moose. I was going to take Austin all the way down. He's like, nah, just park where you want to park, and I'll walk all the way down from there. Mm-hmm. So, and he did, and it was a long ways. I mean, it was a lot
probably
longer.
400, 500 yards, something like that.
It was a march, and it was like through the marsh and the water and all that. I mean, it was tough to get there, I'm sure.
Yep.
And we both talking about Zolios a little bit, but we both said, let's turn the Zolios on and we can communicate back and forth, just like texting your buddy.
It's kind of crazy. We're in Alaska and we're texting each other.
Yeah, satellite texting.
So we started, he's like, all right, 6 p.m., turn them on. We're gonna touch base. And I turned mine on at 10 till 6, and I already got a message from him. I think I just killed one.
But I just shot one with my bow in Alaska. There's still 2 of them right here. Little guy there, and a better one there, about 50 yards. I shot low on him the first time, because I misjudged him. The second shot, ranged him, took my time, 60 yards, it looked like right behind the shoulder, maybe even in the shoulder. He took off running really fast, and then I heard him crash and gurgling. I think I smashed him. That has been a dream of mine. That's the big one. I cannot believe it. God, I hope I heard what I thought I heard. He took off running really fast. Arrow looked good going to him. I wish I'd had my tactic cam going, but I was so pumped. I called them in. They were fighting about 250 yards from me. I cow called, got their attention, and then I took my oar right there, took the oar and raked on the tree, and I could see him raking on a tree, and then I grunted about 3 times, and they all 3 come on a string right down to me. Oh, and the good news is there's a big body of water right here that the float plane can get to. Our camp is just right there. I can't freaking believe it. Ross has got his Zolio and I've got mine. We're supposed to text here pretty soon, so I'm going to let him know I just got an arrow in one. Alright, that's what I'm talking about, man. Let the old elite eat 60 yards. Been practicing for 4 months for that shot. I screwed the first one up, but I made the second one count.
We're walking up on a dream of mine, fellas. I'm glad you guys are here with me. Give me some knuckles.
That's right, man.
Love you
Good
guys.
job. Good job, dude.
Holy shit.
Look at him over there.
Beautiful golden red.
Oh, yeah. Holy smokes.
Oh my god. Hey, look big on the hook.
Man, he's a giant.
You can't fathom how big they are. He's no monster. We've seen bigger, and the one that was with him was actually a little bigger, but I said, the first one that gives me a good shot, I'm going to take it. There's my miss on the first one. The one that was with him was actually a little better, but I shot at this bull first, and I thought I missed him or got him low in the leg, and that's exactly what I did. He ran out to 60, and then I popped him at 60, but the other bull, the bigger one, was standing there at about 40 looking at me. The first time I shot, they just all kind of scattered and looked at me. I called them in, I did a cow call, and then I raked. They were kind of all fighting and sparring. Cow called, then raked, and then I grunted, and when I grunted, they all come in. They haven't been real active, susceptible to the call, but they sure were.
Man. Look at the size of that head.
I'm guessing that's probably, I don't know, 35 to 40 inches. 35.
That's about
Yep, about 35.
36.
Can you imagine a 60?
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
I'll tell you what, boys. I wasn't gonna pass up that opportunity
No,
with a bow.
absolutely.
I told Ross coming up, I said I'd rather shoot a 40-incher with a bow than a 60-incher with a gun, and that's exactly what we did on day number 2.
That's awesome. Dang, he's so
I was
big.
fired up to call him in and have him come into the call like that. That makes it fun.
Oh, absolutely. Dang, dude, that's so cool. He's huge. This is way bigger than a whitetail.
There's bigger ones out here. I'm excited for you guys because I think they're just now starting to kind of turn on to the call. Look how wide
I know.
the cavity is on it.
Man, we're gonna be eating good tonight.
Well, boys, what do you think of that little escapade last night?
I love you, brother, but never again.
No more, please.
Woo! All right, so last night I shot my bull, and as if getting a moose taken care of out in the middle of Alaska when it's wet and everything else isn't bad enough, we got all the meat out to the edge of the water, and then all three of us come back. We didn't have a spotlight or anything and didn't mark the location in our GPS. We went back in to find it. We got turned around and lost for about 2 hours. And then we couldn't end up finding the pack, so we ended up having to leave the packs. Well, the weather was good last night, and then today we wake up and it's raining, so all of our gear that we had out there sat in the rain for a few hours, but I think it's going to dry out. It's not horrible shape, but it's just one of those things, like they say in Alaska, every action has a reaction, and we got sideways last night. It was a little scary. We didn't have enough clothes. Our headlights were running low, and pretty scary shit. So I'm glad we made it back, found our way back. But he is laying next to the water. We are going to have the plane come in here in a few hours and pick him up, and that's one down. Hopefully 2 more to go. And then Ross and I get the binoculars up and we're watching, and I'm watching. I'm like, okay, the right one's not that big. The left one's the bigger of the two. So I'm kind of calling for him because he's not really trying to judge. He's just trying to get on the gun and get ready for the shot.
Yeah.
So then I get my binos up and I'm like, oh yeah, he's right. I mean, the one on the left is the one that you want to shoot for sure.
And there's really only one opening. So what was that? Probably a 20, 50 yard opening there.
20, I would say.
So
Yeah.
you got to make your decision.
Yeah. So we're watching these bulls and they're kind of playing around, kind of some pre-rut stuff, mixing antlers and stuff a little bit, and they're moving up. And the first one steps through, and I'm kind of trying to see him in the scope, but I'm having a hard time. The crosshairs are right at the brush line, and so the second one gets up, and
Cody
Ross,
said, I can't see him.
and Ross and Austin are like, shoot him. I'm like, well, every
Like,
time
if you can't see him, you better fucking see him real fast, dude.
Hey, how about you see him real fucking fast here?
So finally I get a scope full of brown, and I'm like, okay, boom.
Turbo.
And none of us were ready. I mean, just rung our bells. And that 300 Win Mag goes off, and just our ears are howling.
I was about to pull the binos up in my face, and I'm like, come.
So it's like, hit him again. Shoot him again.
Cody's sitting there trying to look at him through the scope. I'm like, rack another one. Get him again.
Let it eat. No, who's kidding? Really?
It wasn't, 30, 40 yards
The
from where
first
his bull
arrow that he
died.
shot at his bull,
Yeah.
we picked her right up.
How stoked were you, Cody, walking up on that thing?
Oh, I was ecstatic. I'm so happy with that bull. I can't even explain it. Like I said, he's not huge. His paddles aren't huge. He's got a lot of character.
Yeah.
But just the experience, being with Ross and Austin, like I said, the whole experience. These guys, when I say I couldn't have done it without them, I mean, these guys were in it as much for my bull as they were for their own.
That's the guys you want to go on a hunting trip
And that's
with.
how it is on this trip. I mean, it's a group. It literally is a group trip.
Yep.
It's a group effort.
You gotta
Has
want to
to
see
be.
your buddies kill bulls too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and Ross took off about a half hour, 45 minutes ago with the rifle looking for a bull. We can hear a bunch of bulls in there. There's a lot of bulls here. We flew over yesterday. There's a bunch of bulls. We actually had one come through camp yesterday afternoon, but it's not legal to shoot him the day you fly, so we let him go. And hoping it comes together today. It's day 8 of the hunt. Actually 9 days we've been in the field, so we're ready to go home. It's cold, windy, raining a little bit today, but Ross is the last man standing, and the bow stayed at camp today, so hopefully we hear a rifle shot here pretty soon, and we're caping out the bull tonight and packing up camp tomorrow. It's been an awesome hunt, so one more bull and we're Illinois bound. Hopefully it's tomorrow.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be our last one, and it's probably going to be years before we go up and do that again. So.
I mean, talk about a trip of a lifetime. I mean, you guys knew that.
Yep.
It was a sweet ending to the trip. I mean, we went through a lot up there and making camp and then cooking every day and making sure everything was taken care of.
Ross, I want to know, I want the detail of, I don't want to skip that detail of, you walking up and, grabbing this thing. You know what I mean? I want to know, your mindset, your reaction, what emotions, you guys are going through when you...
So, I walked up there. I mean, we all walked up there together. Mm-hmm. And Austin was running my phone. Cody was right there with me. We ended up picking him up and looking at him. I mean, he's just so damn cool.
That was awesome. Man, that was a lot of fun. Isn't that crazy? He's only got 2 brow tines on each side. But
got some nice wide paddles.
Boy, they're cool.
Oh, it's got beautiful
real cool.
rack.
Yeah, I love the color of it. I come out here, there was bulls everywhere. It was there's 2 of them in here, one of them over there, another one back there. Cows all over the place. They were all grunting and raking, and man, I'm telling you, today has been dreary and cold and windy, and we're sitting in camp, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go out and make a move on one of these things. And I had the rifle. It's the first animal I've killed outside of a coyote with a rifle. And a bigger one than this come out chasing a cow right out of this patch and right over here. I was over there about 140 yards, and I saw them making their move through here, so I took off running and I jumped over here and was gonna try to get closer to the big one. And they were gone for about 10 minutes, and then this guy come walking right through the same path. So really blessed to have the opportunity at this thing. It's been a long, hard hunt. Everybody's done good. Austin, Cody, but we're nearing the end of our endurance here. I think we're all about ready to head her home. And that gunshot marked the beginning of the end. Now we get all the work to getting packed out of here and back to the water. Fly out tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything.
It's been a hell of a trip, boys. That's an exclamation point on the end of the trip right there.
Absolutely. Nope, I'll never forget it. What a blast. Hard work, but it was all worth it. Yeah, get in there closer.
Look at character. Huge animals. Just can't fathom the size of them. A lot of work.
That's it, boys. Last moose out. We're going home.
great trip with you guys. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Alaska, I think, is going to have a special place in our hearts forever. I mean, we're probably going to take other trips up there, but this one's going to be pretty special.
I put my waders on, thank God, and I went to jump across this thing. I had all this weight on my shoulder with a gun and all my pack and everything else. I went to hop and I was like, oh shit, I'm way up short and just right in the water. So I felt like Flick slamming into
Did you
that
guys
rock.
hear it?
Yeah, it was like 10 yards from camp.
They got to hear it plain as day.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, fuck me.
Son of a bitch.
We're watching him go into the great abyss of Alaska, and he
then
gets about 4 steps in.
Oh, you guys were like watching it.
Oh yeah, dude, it was literally right next to camp. Like
That's fucking great.
I'm like, see you fucking later. Bloop. So anyways,
Great start.
pulled my composure together and I got up and I started walking and I was going real nice and easy.
Did you say anything when you got up?
I give
Sure
him.
didn't.
I give him the wave.
Ross got up. Fuck you guys. Continued on his way.
No, I didn't even turn around because I knew it was going to happen.
You didn't
I'm
say
like,
a word.
Nope.
That's even better.
I just acted like everything was fine. Nothing happened.